Hey guys, this is Mark Hutten with AdultAspergersChat.com, and today I want to talk to those individuals on the autism spectrum about how you may be able to improve your emotional intelligence. If you're an adult with high-functioning autism or Asperger's syndrome, and you're in a relationship with a neurotypical partner or spouse, it's very likely that he or she has complained that you're not very empathic, that you're out of touch with your feelings, and that you certainly are out of touch with how other people may feel. I think it's fair to say that most people, if not all people on the autism spectrum, lack emotional intelligence to one degree or another. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify, assess, and control the emotions of oneself, of others, and of groups. It's the ability to harness emotions to facilitate various cognitive activities, for example, thinking and problem solving. It's also the ability to detect and decipher emotions in faces, pictures, voices, cultural artifacts, including the ability to identify one's own emotions. It's the ability to comprehend emotional language and to appreciate complicated relationships among different emotions. Now, emotional intelligence consists of only 4 attributes. Social awareness. This is understanding the emotions, needs, and concerns of other people, picking up on emotional cues, feeling comfortable socially, and recognizing the power dynamics in the group. Then there is self-management. This is being able to control impulsive feelings and behaviors, managing emotions in healthy ways, taking initiative, following through on commitments, and adapting to changing circumstances. Self-awareness. This is recognizing one's emotions and how they affect one's thoughts and behavior, knowing one's strengths and weaknesses, and having self-confidence. And lastly, there is relationship management, which is knowing how to develop and maintain good relationships, communicate clearly, inspire and influence others, and work well in a team and manage conflict. Affective education is basically learning why you have emotions, their use and misuse, and the identification of different levels of expression. Some of the skills obtained through this form of education include, but are not limited to, the ability to use humor and play to deal with challenges, to resolve conflicts positively and with confidence, to recognize and manage your emotions, and to quickly reduce stress and connect with others through nonverbal communication. This is best done under the supervision of a professional who has expertise in autism spectrum disorders or a relationship coach. But even without a coach or a therapist, it's still possible for you to do some things on your own in the affective education department. Another important component to affective education includes learning to identify the relevant cues that indicate a particular level of emotion in facial expression, in tone of voice, in body language, and context. The face is described as the information center for emotions. So a typical error that you may have experienced in this area is not identifying which cues are relevant or redundant, or maybe even misinterpreting cues. Affective education can also include activities to detect specific degrees of emotion in others and in yourself using internal physiological cues, cognitive cues, and behavior. So you can create a list of your physiological, cognitive, and behavioral cues that indicate an increase in your emotional arousal. The degree of expression can be measured using an emotional thermometer. One of the aspects of affective education is to learn how to perceive your early warning signals that indicate emotional arousal that may need cognitive control. Now, when a particular emotion and the levels of expression are understood, the next component of affective education is to use the same procedures for a contrasting emotion. For example, after exploring happiness, the next topic explored would be sadness, or feeling relaxed would be explored before a project on feeling anxious, and so on. So in this way, you are learning to understand that certain thoughts or emotions are antidotes to other feelings. For example, some activities associated with feeling happy may be used to counteract feeling sad. So in a nutshell, through the use of affective education, you can begin the process of developing emotional intelligence. And in an ideal world, you would develop the following skills in the end: taking responsibility for your own emotions and happiness, showing respect by respecting other people's feelings, Paying attention to nonverbal communication, for example, you would want to watch faces, listen to tone of voice, take note of body language, and so on. Looking for the humor or life lesson in a negative situation. Listening twice as much as you speak. Learning to relax when your emotions are running high. Getting up and moving when you're feeling down. Examining your feelings rather than the actions or motives of others. Developing constructive coping skills for specific moods. Being honest with yourself. Avoiding people who don't respect your feelings. And lastly, acknowledging your negative feelings, looking for their source, and coming up with a way to solve the underlying problem. If you would like to dig deeper into this business of affective education and developing some emotional intelligence, then there's a link below this video. We have an ongoing men's group. It's a men's only group for those on the autism spectrum, and it will be especially helpful for those who are trying to mend fences with their neurotypical partners, who blame them for being out of touch with their feelings, being insensitive, uncaring, and so on. You've heard it before, right? Click on the link below, guys, and register. I hope to see you in the next group.